I spent 20 years of my life in school, and in that time, I racked up almost $500,000 of student loan debt. After finally graduating, I was able to find a job where I could put my skills and education to use helping people. And you better believe I was ready to get a paycheck and start paying that debt down. But because I'm a millennial, life can't be that easy, so just 6 months after graduating, I ended up having to file for unemployment because of all the shutdowns in 2020. So there I was, a doctor, unemployed, and broke. While we were all stuck at home, I started really learning about money. More specifically, figuring out what I needed to do to never be in that position again. Almost 3 years later, I still have loans and I'm not financially free yet, but I'm in a way better position with my money because of the things I learned. These 10 personal finance lessons literally changed my life. Number 1, making the shift from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. There is so much money in the world. So this block represents $100 billion. These blocks represent the value of crypto. These blocks represent the value of the 500 largest companies in the United States. And these blocks represent the value of global real estate. All right, I think you get the point. We live in a day and age where information and opportunity is endless. And yet somehow most of us still feel like we simply just don't have enough. Just knowing that money was out there was a big shift in my mindset that helped me see the world and money differently. I went from thinking I don't have enough to thinking it's out there, how do I get it? Number 2 was realizing that I have a choice. So my high school had hundreds of students attending it in the 4 years that I went there. Generally speaking, we all lived in the same region, our parents made the same amount of money, our houses were the same size with the same values, and we had access to almost all of the same resources. Why did all of our lives turn out so different? And why is it that some people are doing very well financially and some people are not? The reality is that there's actually a lot of reasons for this, some of which are just outside of anyone's control. But what we can control is our choices, and those decisions can drastically affect us for the rest of our lives. Choosing to study, get into college, and eventually go the route of a doctor or lawyer is going to get you very different results than choosing to go the entrepreneur route. And both of those are going to have very different results compared to just going to school and getting a job immediately after you graduate. Look, there's no guarantees in life, but once I accepted that my life was a result of my choices, I began to feel empowered. It felt like it was possible to make decisions to solve my problems. Sometimes making choices means closing other opportunities off. But what it also does is that it opens us up to new possibilities, including financial freedom. So for me, actively making the choice to pay down debt and live below my means has helped me get into a better position with my money. And that was a choice I made. People say that insanity is basically doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Sometimes you have to make a choice to do something different to get a different result, and sometimes that means sacrificing for the things that you actually want in life. Number 3, accepting that life is not fair. I figured out pretty early on that if I wanted to learn something, I had to study. Now, when it came to school, I figured out that if I wanted to give myself the best chance at making a 100% on the exam, I had to go over that material at least 6 times. Now, some of my friends could read the information once or twice and remember it for literally their entire lives. These same people were also super nice, were taller, more athletic, and I swear they needed less sleep than I did to function. I just couldn't compete with them. Eventually, I accepted that life isn't fair and comparing myself to other people is just not productive. It's not going to help me get into a better position in my own life. Instead, I decided to focus on competing against myself, which was far easier and a lot more rewarding. Now, specifically when it came to money, I just stopped worrying about other people and their investments, how much money they were making. It was all irrelevant and it didn't matter. It doesn't help me get to my financial goals, and this is probably true for you too. It doesn't matter what other people are doing, you gotta focus on you. Number 4 was figuring out what I value. I value my time, my health, my comfort, my loved ones, my experiences, and of course my safety. Understanding what I value has helped me cut down on buying dumb stuff. And it's also helped me not feel so bad about when I do spend money. Now look, you might see me out in the town one day with a very overpriced black coffee and a plain bagel, but generally speaking, day to day, I'm not so inclined to buy things just to buy random stuff anymore, especially stuff that's just used to impress other people. For example, the shoes I buy right now are very comfortable. They look nice enough, and I can wear them all day and my feet don't hurt at the end of it. However, a certain shoe that feels like clouds on your feet might get me a lot of attention from strangers, but ultimately doesn't really provide me the value. Understanding what I value helps me be a more conscious spender. So my money goes further, it helps me live a better life, and it's not wasted. Number 5 was making the switch from short-term thinking to long-term thinking. So let me be clear, I know how to think long-term. I think I did a pretty good job when it came to my job, my education, my personal relationships, but I was really bad at it when it came to my money. Part of it was because I knew for years I was gonna go into medicine and I wasn't gonna be getting a paycheck anytime soon, so I never really thought about it. And another part of it was that when I did get some money, I was just a really inexperienced investor. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and FOMO of a bull run in 2017 when you pretty much don't know what you're doing. Eventually, I figured out that I can actually decrease my stress, decrease my risk, and also increase my chances of financial success by just extending my timeline and investing in broadly diversified ETFs. So once I started actively deciding that I was going to focus on debt repayment and focusing on the long term, my life got a whole lot easier. I'm sleeping better at night, and it's also forced me to make better decisions when I do decide to take risks, because I'm not just throwing money money around recklessly anymore. Number 6 was prioritizing my savings account. So when the pandemic hit, I was really thankful that I had that savings account. It wasn't very big at the time, but it did help me float month to month, at least until the world got itself together again. Eventually, I was able to go back part-time and then eventually full-time, but having that savings account bought me time. I don't know what I would have done without it, and that's why for the majority of that year when I was making money, for the majority of 2021 as well, I was actually putting most of my money into my savings account just to build it up. So yes, I did miss out on a lot of gains in 2021, but there's no guarantee that I would have sold to the top anyway, and I would have rather had that money for emergencies because I know how important it is. So having that savings in the past has saved me, and hopefully it'll come in handy in the future as well. Number 7, the importance of multiple income streams. So once I didn't have a job, I basically had no income coming in, and this was a huge wake-up call. Obviously, more money coming in means more money to pay bills and make ends meet, and also invest for the future. So I'm constantly looking for new ways to make money, even if it's just on the side. This YouTube channel is actually one of those endeavors, although it's not currently monetized, so if you found value in the video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe. Number 8 is realizing that day trading isn't for me. I've definitely tried day trading in the past, and it just didn't work out very well. I did do some investing in 2021, but it's more accurately speculating with money that I could afford to lose. But long story short, after all of my years of inexperience investing, I just figured out that it's really hard for me personally to time the bottom and top of any market in any conditions over any time period. And even if I was able to do it, I still have to have the money on hand, invest it at the bottom, sell it at the top, pay capital gains tax, and then there's always the chance that I could just lose money on the trade anyway. So for me personally, it's just not worth the risk and the time that it takes. Maybe in the future that might change if I decide to learn a little more, my financial position changes, but for now, it's just something that I've actively decided that I'm not doing because it's not a high probability of success for me. Number 9 is accepting that no one is coming to save me. So I've learned this a few times in my life. Everyone in the world has their own problems to solve. You watching this right now have your own life that is just as complex as mine. I can't expect anyone to go out of their way for me when I know that their life is just as difficult. I'm not saying that no one is going to come help me. I'm just saying that no one is going to go too far out of their way to do it. I've also learned that I have to help myself first, and then other people are going to be much more willing to help me along my journey. As soon as I started being open about my goals and my plan to get there, I found that I had a ton of support. Number 10 is gratitude. I think that even though I still have problems in my life, I am really fortunate compared to 99.99% of humans that have ever existed on this planet. I have people that love and support me. I have a savings account. I have the opportunity to pursue higher education at the highest levels. My job is to help people, and I get to do that almost every single day. I have so many things to be thankful for. So sometimes during our darkest moments, it's really easy to let ourselves get wrapped up in our problems, and expressing a little bit of gratitude every now and again was really helpful for me to help me see that I actually do have a lot. It really helps put things into perspective, and it's a good reminder that money is not the only kind of wealth. If you're in a tough spot financially or just in general, just remember that you're not alone and that every day is a new opportunity to make it better. Hang in there. I believe in you. Thanks for watching. If you found value in the video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video for more money, finance, or crypto content. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.